हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गाय नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम् शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। शङ्करं परमानन्दं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं यतीश्वरम् भाष्यभ्रान्तिहरं वन्दे शुद्धज्ञानैकबोधकम्। ओम नमः शिवाय। 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 नमः पार्वती पतये। हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम। हरि ओम। We'll begin with the Shanti mantra. Om Apyayantu Mamangani Vak Pranaschakshushrotramatho Balamindriyani Cha Sarvani Sarvam Brahma Upanishadam Maham Brahma Nirakuryam Ma Brahma Nirakarot अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेयोपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम्। We shall chant from the first verse of the third section of 8th chapter. तैमे सत्याः कामाः अनृता विधानाः तेषां सत्यानां सतां Andritam apidhanam yo yo yasyeta prayati natam iha darshanaya lavate अथ ये चास्य इह जीवा ये च प्रेताः यच्चान्यत् इच्छन् लभते सर्वं तद् अत्र गत्वा विन्दते अत्र यस्येति सत्याः कामाः अनृताभिधानाः तद्यथापि हिरण्यनिधिं निहितम् अक्षेत्रज्ञा उपरि उपरि सञ्चरन्तः न विन्देयुः एवम् एव इमाः सर्वाः प्रजा अहरहर गच्छन्त्यः एतं ब्रह्मलोकं न विन्दति अनृतेन हि प्रत्यूढाः स वायिशात्मा हृदि तस्य एतद् एव निरुक्तं हृद्यम् इति तस्माद् हृदयम् अहरहर्वा एवं वित् स्वर्गं लोकमिति अथ य एष सम्प्रसादः अस्मात् शरीरात् समुत्थाय परं ज्योतिः उपसम्पद्य स्वेन रूपेण अभिनिष्पद्यत एष आत्मा इति होवाच एतत् अमृतम् अभयम् एतत् ब्रह्मेति तस्य हवा एतस्य ब्रह्मणो नाम सत्यमिति We are studying this 8th chapter of Chandogya Upanishad. So in the previous two chapters, in the 6th chapter and 7th chapter, the supreme reality that Brahma was pointed out with the help of this world, through the world, Brahma was pointed out, and thereafter that Brahma, when we understand that Brahma was again pointed out as our own inner self. So the identity of our own inner self with that Brahma was pointed out with the famous Mahavakya Tattvamasi. Again, in a very systematic way, starting from the gross name, going all the way to the subtlest prana, and then that Brahma was revealed as our own self to Naradji by his own brother who was his teacher Sanat Kumar. So the Nirgun Nirakar Brahma, which is beyond space, time, objects, that Brahma is very difficult to comprehend. If our buddhi is gross and buddhi is impure, it becomes difficult to comprehend that Brahma. So those people who have this impurity in their buddhi, whose buddhi only goes into the names and forms of this world, they are indicated as manda buddhi. To them also the Shruti wants to give that self-knowledge, that knowledge of Brahma. So Brahma is pointed out, though it is beyond space-time object, with the help of space that Brahma is pointed out, with the help of object that Brahma is pointed out, with the help of some qualities Brahma is pointed out. So first the teacher says that you this our own body is like the kingdom of that Brahma, and our heart is the palace of Brahma. And in the space within this heart resides that Brahma. And that Brahma is not different from our own self. So the space within that heart is not small. It is all pervading space which contains the entire cosmos. And that is Brahma. And that Brahma is our own self. So one has to meditate on the space within the heart as Brahma, as our own self. So this is an Upasana. Upasana is also a very important sadhana. In the Shastras, they point out the sadhana of Karma Yoga, and subtler than Karma Yoga is the sadhana of Upasana. Subtler than Upasana is knowledge, and subtler than knowledge is Nididhyasana. So here those who don't have that purity of their antakarana, whose intellect is not sharp and subtle, to them is pointed out this Brahma at a particular place in our own heart. Though Brahma is everywhere, or it cannot be pointed out as being at a particular place or in a particular object, but still, for the sake of Upasana, Brahma is pointed out as existing in the heart. So one has to meditate on the space within that heart, which is Brahma, as our own self. So with this understanding, when we meditate on this Brahma, that is the Upasana. Just like we do the Upasana, Murti Upasana, we worship a Murti. Like we celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi. So we collect the clay from the river and then make a beautiful Murti from that clay. We make a beautiful Murti of Ganesh with the head and eyes and trunks and stomach and legs and hands and even a mouse, and with modaks. So the whole murti is made. It is nicely painted also. And then we install that murti on the asan in the puja room. And then we invoke the presence of Ganesh Bhagwan in that murti. We do the prana pratishtha. Though all of us, we know that it is just clay having a particular shape. But one invokes the presence of Ganesh Bhagwan in that clay and then worship that clay as Ganesh. This is called Upasana. Though Ganesh Bhagwan is everywhere, But it becomes difficult for us to meditate and to understand that all pervading Nirgun Nirakar Sri Ganesh. So, in order to help us to understand and do our sadhana, we invoke the presence of Ganesh Bhagwan in that murti. In the same way, Brahma is Nirgun Nirakar, Sarvavyapi, Sarvajna, Sarvashaktiman, not confined to any place. But to comprehend that Brahma is difficult for those who have impurity in their antakarana. So one can meditate on Brahma as present in our own heart, in the space within the heart. He is Brahma, and that Brahma has to be meditated upon as Atma, not as different from me, but as myself. One should meditate on Brahma as myself. See, when you do Murti Puja, we do the Upasana considering myself different from that Murti, as different from Ganesh Bhagwan. So I am different, Ganesh Bhagwan is different. And I do the whole Upasana. But here, the Upasana mentioned is different. It's more subtle. Here, one should meditate on the space within that heart, which is Brahma, as our own self, as Atma. So, this is the Upasana, and this Atma, that Brahma, which is Atma, is free from death. It is free from old age, free from all sorrow, free from hunger and thirst. And that Atma is Satya Kama and Satya Sankalpa. Though Atma doesn't have any qualities, but with respect to the Upadhis, the Atma appears to have some qualities. Just like the space, though space doesn't have any shape, but in a pot, the space as though takes the shape of the pot. So though Atma is free from all gunas, it is pointed out as having the guna quality of Satya Kama and Satya Sankalpa. Means with respect to Upadhis, Atma has got these qualities. See, just as Atma cannot walk, but expressing through this body, Atma alone walks, Atma alone sees, Atma alone hears, Atma alone thinks, Atma alone feels. In the same way, Atma alone has got this quality of Satya Kama and Satya Sankalpa. Means whatever it desires, it can attain. Whatever it decides to attain, it can attain. Though this is the beauty of Upasana. See, in karma, when you do perform karma, we get the result. But the result of Upasana is much more than the result of karma. The result of karma comes to an end, or it is very limited. But the result of Upasana is more pervasive. So when we perform karma, we go to, if we attain punya, we can go to Swargalok and we return. But if one does this upasana, in the subtler and subtler upasana, then that person gains ability to go to any loka. So the teacher says कि तेषां सर्वेषु लोकेषु हाँ, तेषां सर्वेषु लोकेषु कामचारो भवति. One who recognizes this Atma, which is Satya Kam and Satya Sankalpa, such a upasak gains free access to all the lokas. He can go to any loka, no restraint. And as an example, the teacher gives a long list that if he wants to go to Pitrulok, he can go there. If he wants to go to Matrulok, he can go there. And so on. Because all these lokas and everything exist in that Atma alone. Everything is existing in that Atma, which is Brahma. Everything is there. But for an ignorant person, all these things are not available. If someone dies, we don't meet that person again. If something is lost, it is not available for us again. But one has done this upasana, then even those things which are not available outwardly is attained by this person. Because all of them are present in that Atma. An ignorant person also is not different from that Atma, means he is the same Brahma. But because of ignorance, doesn't recognize it, though everything is available there, doesn't recognize it. The teacher gives example, just as some wealth is hidden on inside the ground, and one may walk on top of that ground, but still for that person, that wealth will not be available. In the same way, when we go to sleep, we transcend our body, our mind, and become one with our own self as Brahma. There remains no division. And as Brahma, we attain everything. But when we are ignorant, all that is available is not recognized by us. But in case of a wise person, a upasak, he knows and he gains all this. So this Brahma, this Atma, is to be meditated upon our own heart. Because the heart, which is in Sanskrit, which is called Hridayam, etymologically, it means Rit Ayam. That in this Rit, Ridhi, in this heart, Ayam is this Atma. So that name Hridayam means Atma is in this heart. Atma is here. Here is the Atma. Hridayam. So tasmat hridayam aharaharva evam with swargam lokam iti. And one who understands this properly, then when he goes to sleep, he knows that he has become one with that Atma, with that Brahma. He doesn't have any confusion about it. So Swargam Lokam Iti. So thus the Upasana on the space within the heart, which is Brahma, is to be meditated upon as Atma, as myself. This is the Upasana. And Upasana has got its own result. So the results are also pointed out. See, the result of jnana is moksha. The result of upasana is not moksha. The result of karma is also not moksha. But still, we have to perform karma in order to purify our antakarana. And we have to perform upasana in order to make that antakarana single pointed. So chitta shuddhi is attained through karma yoga. Chitta ekagrata is attained through upasana. And then with knowledge we gain mukti. So therefore here this upasana in the space within the heart was pointed out. So Dahara Pundarika Upasana, it is called. Now in this fourth mantra of the third section, the teacher wants to point out the Nama Upasana. So Nama Upasana is also very important, and it also helps to purify our antakarana. See, in the Puranas, in the Ramayana also, the scripture advises in various places the Nama Upasana, gives the importance of Nama Upasana, the importance of the name. In Ramayana also, in Tulsi Ramayana, Tulsidas ji elaborately describes the beauty of Ramanam and the phala which one gains by doing this Nama Upasana. बंदहु नाम राम रघुवर को हेतु कृसानु भानु हिमकर को विधि हरिहरमय वेद प्राण सो अगुण रूप मन गुण निधान सो. In this way, the beauty of Ramanam is pointed out. And just by doing the upasana of Ram Nam, one can ultimately attain Ram. And this is being said by so many Mahatmas. They tell that you do Nam Upasana, Bhagwan ka Nam Smaran karo. So here in the Upanishad, in its own way, Upanishads have their own style. So in its own style, the Upanishad also points out Nama Upasana. So again we will chant the mantra, fourth mantra. कि अथ य एष संप्रसादः अस्मात् शरीरात् समुत्थाय परम ज्योति उपसंपद्य स्वेन रूपेण अभिनिष्पद्यत एष आत्मा इति होवाच एतदमृतम् अभयम् एतद् ब्रह्म इति तस्य हवा एतस्य ब्रह्मणो नाम सत्यम् इति. So one who recognizes through Upasana, once our mind becomes pure and single pointed, and we continue with this Upasana and then gain proper knowledge, contemplate and gain that total abidance in that Atma as Brahma, then such a person, enlightened person, having transcended this body, attains that supreme Brahma. So Sharirat Samuthaya, having transcended this body, Param Jyotihi Upasampadya, he attains that Atma which is Param Jyoti, supreme light. Svena Rupena Abhinispadyata, he attains that Atma in his own form, in his own nature, Atma as Atma, without any upadhis, without any limitations, as it is, Svena Rupena. So this is the Atma which one has to attain by first making the mind single pointed through Upasana, and then gain the knowledge and gain abidance in that Atma. So the teacher should point out this Atma to the student. Esha Atma iti hovacha. The student should be taught that this is the Atma. This Atma which remains without upadhis in deep sleep. This Atma which is expressing in your own heart. In the heart, that space which is there, which is that Brahma, that Atma is Brahma. So one who recognizes this Atma as Brahma becomes free of all bondage, he transcends this body. So that Atma has to be pointed out. Etad Amrutam, this Atma is immortal. It is Amrutam. Etad Brahma iti, this Atma is Brahma. Tasya hava etasya brahmano nama satyam iti. So that Atma is pointed out, but one has to attain it. It is like you show a person the destination from a distance. Let us say we are going to a temple in the Himalayas, and from a distance you point out the temple and tell that, oh, we have to reach the temple on the mountain. So we are very far away from the temple, but from where we are, we can see the temple and we can see the route also, but it is at a long distance. So we have to walk, put forth effort in the right direction and attain it. In the same way that Atma is pointed out, which is Nirgun Nirakar, but now we are identified with the body, mind, senses, having lot of distractions, having lot of other desires. So, apart from Karma Yoga, what is required is we have to do Upasana. So, after pointing out the Dahara Upasana, the Upasana on the space in the heart, Now here the teacher is pointing out Nama Upasana. And he says, Brahmano Nama Satyam iti. This Atma, which is Brahma, this Brahma, the name of this Brahma is Satyam. See, Bhagwan also has many names. So we can take up any name and meditate on that name. Like I said, Ram is also Bhagwan's name. And when we do the meditation, when we do the Upasana, we should not only understand the beauty of the Nami, means that which is pointed out with the help of that name. Like when we say flower, flower is a name, but that object is this, which is pointed out with that name flower. Similarly, Ram is a name, but with that name Ram, that Nirgun Nirakar Ishvara is pointed out. So Ram, the name is called Nama, and what is pointed out is Nami. Similarly, here the name is Satyam, and what is pointed out with this name is that Brahma. Now, in that name Ram also, one should also understand the beauty of that name itself. Tulsidas ji in the Ramayana writes so many chaupais talking about the beauty of Ram Nam itself. The name itself is also beautiful. He says Ra and Ma, these two akshars are there, two letters are there in Ram Nam, Ra and Ma. They are also very madhur, very sweet. They have their own beauty. And so many things he points out about the beauty of this Ra and Ma akshar. In the, like he says, the Ra, Ram Nam is made up of Ra, A, and Ma. So that Ra is Agni Bij. It is a seed of Agni Tattva. Just as when you sow a seed, a tree comes out. Similarly, this Ra Akshar which is there, which was used by the Creator to create Agni, fire. With the sound Ra, Brahmaji created fire. And with the sound A, he created Surya, the sun. And with the sound Ma, he created the moon. बंदहु नाम राम रघुवर को हेतु कृसानु भानु हिमकर को. Tulsidas ji says the Ram Nam is Hetu, the seed of Krisanu means fire, Bhanu means sun, and Himakar means moon. So in this way, the Akshara itself has got a lot of beauty. So when we understand the beauty of the Akshara and the Nama, and with that understanding, when we do the Nama Upasana, it becomes more effective. Just like we as I mentioned, that from the clay you make the idol, the murti of Ganesh Bhagwan. The more beautifully you make that murti, and the more beautifully you decorate with the beautiful paint and all, the murti comes alive. Even to look at that murti is so delightful. Though the murti is pointing out that Ganesh Bhagwan, which is beyond all names and form. But that form which is made is also very beautiful. And that beauty of the form also attracts us. Like we go to temples, we stand in queue to have darshan of Bhagwan. There are some temples where there's so many people they go. A huge crowd is there and a huge long line is there to have the darshan of Bhagwan. So you keep on waiting for your turn to come. And even when one reaches the spot from where we can have the darshan of that beautiful murti of Bhagwan, that time is also very short because the line is so much that within few seconds you have to move to give way to other devotees. So just 5-10 seconds you may get. After staying in line for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, one may get 10 seconds in front of Bhagwan's Murti. So what do we do in that 10 seconds? We look at Bhagwan from his feet to his face, we look. That may take some 2-3 seconds. And then what do we do? Then we close our eyes and we just stand there with our eyes closed for some 7-8 seconds till we have to move from there. So it's very strange. You got so few seconds and you just close your eyes during that time also. So the murti itself is very beautiful, but the Bhagwan is beyond that murti. So murti attracts us and also takes us beyond. So your name also is very attractive and it also takes us beyond all names and forms. So the beautiful name of Brahma as Satyam is pointed out in this mantra. So what is the beauty of this name? Why it is so considered so beautiful? So in the next mantra, the teacher reveals the beauty of this name Satyam. So let us chant mantra number 5. Tani hava etani त्रीणि अक्षराणि सतेयम् इति तद्यत्सत् तदमृतम् अथ यत्ति तन्मर्त्यम् अथ यद्यं तेन उभे यच्छति यद् अनेन उभे यच्छति तस्माद् यम् अहरहर्वा एवं वित् स्वर्गम लोकम एति. So one has to meditate on this name Satyam as Brahma. Satyam is Brahman. Satyam, Satyam. Just like we say Ram, Ram, Ram. Om, Om, Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Like that. This name is Satyam. Satyam. But what does it mean? What is the beauty of this name Satyam? So the teacher said, Tani hava etani trini aksharani. In this Satyam, the teacher said there are 3 letters are there, which are joined together to form this word, to form this name. There are 3 letters which have come together to form this name. What are the 3 letters? He says, Trini Aksharani, Sa, Ti, and Yam. The 3 letters are Sa, Ti, and Yam, which together become Satyam. Sa, Ti, and Yam. So, Sa, Ti, Yam, Iti, Trini Aksharani. These 3 aksharas are there. And these 3 aksharas, these 3 letters, also they have their own meaning. So the teacher says, Ki tad yat sa, that which is sa, sat, that which is sa, in that Satyam, tad amrutam, that is amrutam, that one should understand as indicating amrutam. Amrutam means immortal, immortality, immortal. Immortal is the nature of Brahma. Brahma is immortal. Amrutam. In Narad Bhakti Sutra also, Naradji, in the first 3 sutras, he talk about that bhakti. He says, Yathato bhaktim vyakhyāsyāmaha. Now therefore, we shall explain what is bhakti. Then he says, Satu asmin parama prema rupa. He says, Sa bhakti, that bhakti is of the nature of supreme love. Supreme love for whom? For Ishvara. Asmin. In Ishvara, to have supreme love is called bhakti. Is the rupa of bhakti. Is the outer expression of bhakti. But bhakti is much subtler even than the outer expression. Bhakti is subtler than even supreme love. So what is the swarupa of that bhakti? The swarupa of bhakti is amrutam. Amruta swarupa cha. So that amruta swarupa is sakshat, that Brahma only. So which is indicated here that the word sa indicate amrutam. So tat yat sat sa, which is pronounced along with the ta, sat, but actually it means the akshara sa, tad amrutam is amrutam. Amrutam, immortal, indestructible, unchanging, which never changes. That is amrutam. Then, atha yatti, then that word ti or ta, which is there, ta with halanta, without a vowel, but in order to help us to pronounce it, we add some vowel. So the vowel E is added. So T. So the letter T, what does it signify? Yatti tan martyam. It signifies that which is mortal, that which is changing, that which is constantly getting what you call constantly which changes, which dies. Martyam. So Sa is immortal, Ta is that which constantly changes. And then Yam is there. So what does Yam means? Atha yad Yam tena ubhe yachati. That Yam is that which controls this both, controls both the immortal as well as that mortal is controlled. Yam means that which controls. So tena ubhe yachati yad anena ubhe yachati tasmad yam. Since it is controlling both, it is indicated as yam. Now see, this Satyam, this word, name, is of Brahma, and that Brahma is both immortal as well as mortal. Brahma is transcending all this, and Brahma is also present in all this at the same time. In Ramayana, Tulsidas ji uses some other words to indicate the same thing. That which is transcendental, that which is immortal, is also called Nirgun or Agun, beyond all guna. And that which is seen and having some form and having some qualities is called Sagun. So Sagun and Nirgun are not two different, they are the same, one tattva only, appearing in two forms. Saguna hi aguna hi nahi kachu bheda jimi hima upala. He says there is no difference between aguna, means that nirgun, and sagun. He gives example like eyes and water. What is the difference between eyes and water? Essentially, there is no difference. But outwardly, there seems to be a difference. Even in the behavior, there seems to be different. The water just flows, water takes the shape of the container, but the eyes is like a block. So it has got a shape of its own. So though the qualities seem different outwardly, but essentially water is also H2O and ice is also H2O, hydrogen and oxygen. Similarly, Martyam is that which constantly change, which is also called Asatyam or Andratam, the changing existence. This world which we experience is constantly changing. Therefore, this world is Martyam. And to be born in this world is to be born in Martyaloka, in the world of mortality. Everything changes. But what is this everything that which is changing? It is also Brahma. And beyond all this, that which change is also that Nirgun Nirakar Brahma, the changeless Brahma. So Brahma alone is changeless and also expresses as changing. So the world is changing existence of Brahma, which is constantly changing. World is not non-existent. World is not mithya. See the term mithya, generally people use it, the ignorant people not understanding Vedanta properly calls this world mithya. Mithya, the term, it means something created with our mind. Like the rope is there and we see a snake. That snake is created by my mind. Therefore, that snake is called mithya because it is just creation of my mind. But this world is not the creation of my mind. This world is the expression of Brahma with his Shakti called Maya. Therefore, this world is not mithya. World is asatyam. Asatyam is changing, not non-existent, but existing with change. So here that is pointed out very beautifully that word Satyam has got both that which is immortal and that which is mortal, because they are like two sides of the same coin. They are two expressions of the same Brahma, and one who understands these two properly, that understanding these two expression of Brahma is what is called Yam. That Yam, which controls both, means which understands both, which has got the understanding of both. Tulsidas ji in Ramayana, he calls this understanding as a Dvibhashi. Dvibhashi means a person who understands two languages. Like when our ministers and all, they go abroad to some another country, and if they don't understand that language of that place, then there is a person who understands both the language. So a person speaks in Hindi, then that person translates it into maybe another language, Russian language. Then that minister speaks in Russian language, and again this person translated in Hindi. So this fellow understands both the languages. This minister doesn't understand his language, he doesn't understand his language. Same thing is with this Sagun and Nirgun. The Nirgun doesn't understand the Sagun language, Sagun doesn't understand the language of Nirgun. Therefore, in the world also, those who only contemplate and think about the Nirgun Nirakar Brahma, they don't understand the language of bhakti, the language of Bhagwan, with his qualities, with his leela. This is all wrong. And those who are in love with Bhagwan having qualities, they don't understand the language of that Nirgun, Nirakar, Brahma. But both this is wrong. We have to understand both. So that which help us to understand both is indicated here by the word yam. So in this word Satyam, one who understands this word Satyam and meditates on this word name Satyam, then such a person, tasmad, yam aharaharva evam with swargam lokameti, then such a person who knows this, then he not only knows that Brahma in the waking, but also when he goes to sleep, he knows that I have attained that Brahma, that even in deep sleep, I have attained this Brahma only. Deep sleep is not ignorance. Deep sleep is Brahma only. I become one with that Brahma. So thus, this beautiful Nam Upasana is conveyed here. More about this we will see in our class on Wednesday. Till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, do your work, do your sadhana, and listen to the pravachan again. Contemplate on what you hear, and we will meet again soon. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siya Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.